Hello and thank you for joining the Thursday edition of Journalist Hangout. I'm Ayodele Uzubakun. Today on the program, Governor Yaya Bello of Kogi State advocates a multi-dimensional approach to insecurity, speaks on other national issues. In a special interview with Journalist Hangout, I'll be hanging out with Babajide is back, Babajide Kolade Otitoju, and Asuko James. So if you're ready, let the hangout start now. Just before we go on the main discussion, let's join numerous admirers to wish a quintessential politician and the Lagos State Commissioner for Environment, Tunji Bello, a happy birthday. Tunji Bello is 60 today. Congratulations, Mr. Tunji Bello, for reaching out to many lives, and this is a big milestone. Jide, yes, Tunji Bello is 60.
He's a good man, a good journalist. Every opportunity that has been given to serve his country, to serve his state, is always excelled, and is someone that I have tremendous admiration for. I can only pray for him that God enables him to see many more years in a happy Nigeria.
Personally, Tunji Bello is like a father, he's a role model and a mentor to me, and I want to wish this very, very amiable man, down to earth, Jide. Very down to earth. Somebody can.
Yes, he speaks his mind all the time.
Exactly.
He speaks his mind.
Many more glorious.
Yes, exactly. They're down to earth. I've met him a couple of times, and he's always willing and ready to answer all questions. You know, that is one thing. And he's a regular column on this day back then.
It was the editorial board chairman of this day at the point in time. So, Sunday editor Concord.
We want to really, really wish him many more years.
That's why I said everywhere he's been trusted with responsibility, is always excelled.
So we just, on behalf of the backroom staff, the crew, Journalist Hangout, special congratulations to the Lagos State Commissioner for Environment, Mr. Tunji Bello. All right. In a no-holds-barred fashion, the governor of Kogi State, Yaya Bello, spoke with Journalist Hangout on wide-ranging issues from insecurity to national unity to infrastructure. Governor Bello dissects challenges facing the country and advocates adoption of various approaches to tackling rising banditry and kidnapping in the country. Without much ado, let's bring to you the interview with Governor Yaya Bello for your viewing pleasure.
This is a special interview with the Executive Governor of Kogi State, Alhaji Yaya Bello. Thank you so much, sir, for giving us the opportunity.
Thank you very much.
How would you approach the matter of securing Nigerians? How would you do things differently?
Nigeria's problem, security-wise, cannot be handled just with one approach. It's not one cap fit all. Some are political, some are economical, some are social, and some are just pure criminalities. If I am made the president of Nigeria today, I will handle them in these various manners. Those that are pure criminals in nature, I will deal with them squarely. I'll go head on and neutralize them. Both their sponsors, the commanders, and the foot soldiers. Those that are political in nature, they are very simple. Just make sure that there's fairness, equity, and justice. You ensure that there's total inclusiveness of every aspect and segment and strata of this country. And then there will be calmness. Those that are economic in nature, by the time you are done with the political and the criminal, other criminal aspects, economically, things will pick up. Because without a secured environment, there can't be any meaningful economic activities. However lofty, however good it is. Whether it is locally, it's a local idea, or a borrowed idea, or a cut and paste approach, there can't be any prosperity. I give you an example. A farmer cannot go to farm if there's insecurity. If you're being kidnapped, or there is always farmers-headers clash, how can there be economic prosperity? Even construction of roads and other infrastructures cannot take place if they are not secured. What I practice in KOGI is what I will do, by the grace of God, when I get to the government. The approach may change a little bit depending on what the situation might be at that time, but it is just one approach. And what is the approach? Yes to competence. Yes to capacity. Yes to giving in to the people and open good governance, transparent and accountable governance. Then, no to tribalism, no to sectionalism, no to nepotism, no to religious bigotry, and no to all forms of things that divides us, but capacity. Once we approach this, things will move. So these are the approach, these are the things I am using in KOGI, and it's working very well.
A lot of your colleagues believe that state police is the solution. Do you agree with those who insist that the time is ripe for state police?
You know, most parts of the country today have either vigilante or joint task force, which they call it, some people call it civilian joint task force. Some nickname their own or change their name to, we have Amatekun in the southwest, and several other names. But is there security today? Here in KOGI State, we're making use of our conventional security system with local collaborators. You see, my dear brother, however you coin it, call it state police, without orientation, without change of mind, without the leadership, without that sincere and patriotic leadership, state police will even be worse than what we have today. So, if we are talking of state police, some are advocating the way it is being practiced in the US and other places. Sometimes we don't just do cut and paste. I agree totally that the current community policing that is under experimentation, let me put it that way, if there is sincerity in pushing it through, it will work effectively. What we're simply doing in KOGI State is community policing, not state police. Community policing does not mean that police is in every inch of the land, but the people themselves, the community themselves, they are sincere well enough to provide adequate information, credible information to the law enforcement agencies. And to a very large extent, all the head of security agencies that are working in KOGI State, looking at my body language and the kind of person I am, that I take no excuse at all. They know that they have to cooperate with my people and tackle crimes and criminality, because there's no high and mighty as far as issue of crime is concerned in KOGI State, not even in government. I will deal squarely with whoever is caught. So they now fit in straight, and we're doing our work very effectively here. So if you say there is state police and what have you, and we still maintain this kind of attitude from leadership to followership to the citizenry, it might be worse.
Let's talk about security still. It was reported some time ago that the first ever suicide bomber in our country was a citizen of Kogi State. There was a time when we had terrorist groups open camps within Kogi State. How have you dealt with that threat? And what is the level of performance of your foot soldiers in dealing decisively with terrorists and kidnappers?
Thank you very much. Like I said, upon assumption of office, priority number one was securing our people. ISWA, Boko Haram, even some cells of ISIS were in Kogi State. In fact, their IED making factories were located in Kogi State. We have a lot of caves, mountains, and several. Our condition here in Kogi State favored them very well. I led from the front. I didn't just delegate. When I'm moving, my law enforcement agencies must move. When I move, everyone, the foot soldiers and all those that are concerned would move. That's number one. I immediately identified the leaders, the sponsors, and their commanders. I inherited a law signed by my predecessor, but was never or were never utilized. I quickly activated the laws and immediately start to apply it, and then we neutralize them. Political will to handle such situations matters. So we applied the law strictly, irrespective of who you are. And then we dealt with it. Of course, it took a lot of resources from us. The will and the willingness to release fund, not to release fund, let me put it that way. Exactly. For the law enforcement agencies matters. I went extra mile to motivate those serving from the beginning, even up to this moment, of our law enforcement agencies. It's not as if I had all the monies, but the little I had, I opened it up. I asked the people, we're crying of lack of infrastructures and the rest. Here is the little change or money we have. And here are infrastructures that needed to be attended to. Now choose one. Should we go use the little money for infrastructure, or we should use it to continue to chase criminals? Because I will pursue criminals. They choose that, look, before we come for infrastructure, we must deal with the criminals. We face the criminals. Not only that, if you don't volunteer information, credible information for us to deal with the criminals quickly before we face infrastructure, then we'll be doomed. So, immediately they trusted us, our government. Of course, the citizens will first try you. Let's give one or two pieces of information and let's see what he will do with it. We protected our informants. We protected those that are giving us credible information. We zeroed in and operations were going on very smoothly and perfectly. So, we recorded such successes. And then, nobody will hear that so person was caught and he's so in the society, and then look at he's been let loose and nothing happened. We ensure that they face the full wrath of the law. The law caught up with them, and then today we are having a state that is safest as far as Nigeria is concerned.
So those cells, those camps are gone?
They are completely gone. No non-state actor today in Kogi State. In the past, before you could do any occasion, either burial, naming ceremony, wedding, whatever it is, you must go and take permission from them. But there's no such thing today. You have to go and appease the gods. They are the gods then. You appease them. And when they move, you know that people are moving. But today, Kogi State is peaceful. Yes, it's not completely 100% because there are sleeper cells. You know, somebody who just come in and strike and run away. But you can't strike in Kogi State today and stay in Kogi State and you are identified. You are known to be a known state actor or a criminal like it used to be in those days and will not come after you. You would have made the greatest mistake of your life.
But some of your colleagues, governors, still believe that appeasement by way of amnesty and even offering money to bandits and other categories of criminals is the right approach.
Well, like that's why I say, me, my own state, in Kogi State, I never apply that approach because you have no reason to take arms against the state. No resources is at stake or under contention. No land is under contention. There are disputes here and there, but I quickly ensure that it is resolved. Of course, between herders and farmers, I ensure that it is resolved. In fact, it's resolved at local level, at community level. That is how far I have even gone. At community level, it is resolved there. Nothing comes to my table. So, appeasing, well, I will say yes. If people are agitating for genuine cause, appease them. But if it is just pure criminality, that's why I divided it. There are pure crimes and criminality. There are some that are political. There are some that are socio-economical. Let's apply various solutions to those problems. But to say somebody just wake up and take arms against the people, I mean, you know, some of these guys, if they don't commit crime, they're not happy. They don't feel comfortable. For crying out loud, I have no business to do. I have no business with you.
Kogi State shares boundaries with many states. It is the Nigerian states that shares boundaries with other states the most. But with Nasarawa State, you seem to have a problem in terms of criminal elements coming in from that state into Kogi, committing crimes and running back inside. How have you addressed this problem?
In 2018, we had North Central Security Summit in Lafayette, Nasarawa State. And there's some ragtag elements, some criminals came out, and I learned they have embraced peace, they are repenting, and they'll be granted amnesty. And I did make myself clear there and then, openly, that if this particular event were to be holding in Kogi State, and these elements came out like this, by whichever way in the open, that you are parading here, that, oh, especially there's one called, they call Bujism Bazamfari, and his group came out. I told the then IG and my colleagues then, I said, probably I'll allow the news to just go that, okay, yes, probably these guys have come to commit, have come out to embrace amnesty. But probably before they would have reached their stations, I would have applied our law in Kogi State here to the fullest. And, you know, everybody would have known that, yes, there's calmness. But they were granted, and what happened still happened. They continue on kidnapping spree. Now, some of the attacks we used to experience come from Nasarawa, not only Nasarawa, from Niger sometimes, those borders. But let me tell you, majority of those things that were being committed, there is local collaborators. I must be very frank. Mr. Jide, permit me to be very open. There are local collaborators. So at all times, we are spending a lot of resources, energy, and what have you, to make sure that we curb it. When we hear that they are striking or something, before our law enforcement agencies will reach there or get to their camp, they would have either flee or just, the successes were not much. I said, okay, I know what I'm going to do. I devised a different method. And I am uprooting all the local collaborators now. Completely, I am uprooting them. All. And very soon I would have finished uprooting all of them completely. There will be absolute calmness in those areas. From the Nasarawa angle and from the Niger angle. And it all happened that they are basically, connected to one particular local government, KOGI Kotokarfe local government. So right now we are operating all the local elements. And as we are operating all the local elements now, there's calmness there. We are going to expand it. If we need to even cross border, we will. We've done it before. In the central, we had to cross border to some of our neighboring states to neutralize some of them. Because we won't wait for you to strike. We will hunt you down. We will deal with you in the language you understand. So we're applying the language they understand now to them in these local communities that are collaborating with the elements. And of course, there are a lot and very huge successes so far. An appreciation to all the law enforcement agencies, the Army, the police, the Navy, the DSS, and our community policing system that is working effectively. So when we are done with all of that, then even Nasarawa State will be at peace. But I thank God the Nasarawa State governor is doing his best now. He's doing his best to assist us to deal with the criminal elements in his own end, at his own end there. Initially he thought the peaceful way is the only way, and thank God he has seen now that, look, some of these bad elements, you need to speak to them in the language they understand. He too is speaking the language to them over there. So, and I want to believe that Niger State will begin to speak the language they understand too there. So when we all speak the language the criminals understand to them, they will now know that, look, they have no any option than to leave peace to reign.
The perception people have is that the APPEASED-BELLO of today is a born again APPEASED-BELLO. That the work that they are seeing now and the pace and intensity of the work that they didn't see during the first time. What was responsible for this? Were you distracted at the time, or you just wanted to be different? Because they usually say during the second term, governors don't really work. Why is your case different?
I was never distracted. I knew exactly where I was headed. I inherited a state that was largely divided along several lines. And then I inherited a state that was largely decayed infrastructurally. I inherited a state that had certain mentality or certain orientation. So it took a lot of time to change the mindset of the people. Secondly, when you meet a rotten situation and you cannot patch or manage, you must uproot some. That took me to the civil service reform that we embarked upon. We met a rotten system where there are thousands of names that were just drawing salary from KOGI states. Some existent, they are far away, some non-existent at all, but by few individuals and siphoning the state resources. We had to deal with all of this, and there are a lot of hues and cries. Today, we have the most efficient and effective civil service system in Nigeria. My civil servants are very effective and efficient. My appreciation to the civil service. Now, infrastructurally, like I said earlier, we met a situation where every day you knew what the situation was, security-wise, in KOGI State prior to my assumption of office, and we needed to deal with them. Let me give you a particular instance. There was a particular road construction between Itape Junction through Eika down to Total Filling Station Junction in Okene. When the expatriates were once kidnapped and job stopped for a long time, and a heavy amount of money were paid by the company to release the captives. So there's no how we could have made huge successes in terms of infrastructure in this kind of situation. So we needed to deal with those criminals. Now we are living in peace. We're managing the little resources that we have, and we're seeing the result. This is building on the foundation we laid in the first term. And of course, we swore to serve our people. And I see no reason why I wouldn't serve them to the last day I will leave this office. And that is why we are recording this kind of huge successes so far. Even though we are yet to blow our trumpet, I'm sure you're going to help us, blow it and let the world see exactly what we are doing in Kogi State.
So it's not a matter of distraction, though you have to fight many battles during your first term. Different battles, the INEC one, the battle over the election, right up to the Supreme Court and all that.
I would say, some may refer to it as battle. I would say it is just the normal thing. When, something novel comes up, people would resist it. It was novel for me to emerge the way I emerged. So the people would resist it. But we needed to test the law, and eventually we were vindicated. So it might be a battle. Some may say, okay, it's just a civil process that we have to pass through. But in the process, I was not actually distracted, because if I was distracted, then I would have started this. It is now I would have started building the foundation upon what we are building upon today. So I needed to contain with some forces anyway, to stabilize. In the process, I was still very focused at that time, because I knew very well that today, times like this shall come.
From what I've seen, you seem to have focused your attention on health, education, and road infrastructure, especially during this time. What is the vision behind the focus on these three critical areas?
Yes, these three critical areas and several others. We may not have enough time to go into them. No any meaningful development can take place without infrastructure and solid infrastructure. So, and of course, no any development that can take place anywhere without the people being enlightened and educated. Then, of course, it is often said that health is wealth. If our people are not healthy, you can't create wealth. So I choose to focus on these areas and many more, like I said, in order that we have agriculture and what have you. We are doing very well in all of this, so that our people can easily be pulled out of the woods. Long after I'm gone, those things will continue to serve our people, and they can find their way without necessarily recourse to the government. And of course, government after me will be focusing on other areas, because if I had the infrastructure, educational facilities are there, and health infrastructure, the road infrastructure, the water infrastructure, if those ones were there, we would have focused on something else. So we're doing it today, and we're doing it the very solid way, the very best way that it ought to be, so that successive governments can build on it.
I've been to the Conference University of Science and Technology, and I could see 23 fresh structures already on ground. I've been to some of the schools as well, including the Polytechnic.
Yeah.
I could see new structures that have been erected in the last 1 year. But there are still many schools in Kogi State suffering from infrastructure decay. So as you come up with new structures from the scratch, what is the plan to refurbish and revamp school infrastructure that is decaying across the state.
Well, thank you very much. This is an area that I was saying if the previous administrations had looked into. Remember in 1991 that the government of Kogi State came into being, or the state government, the state came into being. Schools were established by way of just pronouncement. Oh, here there's going to be a school here, and then the people will be jubilating, and on their own the community will put one or two things together and call the place a school. I inherited such infrastructure right since 1991 in this administration and several others. So, what we are doing right now is, what do we need in the immediate? Let's quickly take care of those in the immediate and that will serve a longer term, and then begin to go back. There are several plans that are ongoing right now. In fact, most of these infrastructures that you see, I want to believe, even yesterday myself, there are still there are mobilizations that are ongoing right now for some of these infrastructures that are still needing, touch to take place. We're establishing model schools so that some of these our universities, will be fed. Primary schools, a lot. As much as we have done, much more needs to be done. That is why we're saying in this our second term, we're poised to do more. So let's guys join me and let's do more for our people. No one administration can ever solve all the problems. But by the grace of God, we are going to make sure that we reduce it to the minimum, to the barest minimum, so that others that will come after us can build on what we may have laid.
Yeah, for a lot of our people going to ILORIN, it's extreme pain to travel from KABBA to ILORIN.
Oh, yeah.
You are someone who goes to Abuja a lot, and you have extensive contacts in the seat of power. What are you doing to mitigate the pain that our people are going through, especially commuting from KABBA to ILORIN?
Not only commuting from KABBA to ILORIN, a lot of federal roads. You see, Kogi is at the center part of this country. You can't go to the south or north without passing through Kogi State. So almost more than 80 or 90% of the roads that travelers passes through in Kogi State are federal roads. I have severally made a plea to Federal Ministry of Works and Housing, as it then was, to intervene. Most of the times they complain of fund. But there are still other projects going on in several other parts of the country. They've done their best. Work is ongoing, but very snail speed. I don't have airport in Kogi State. I use road all the time. If I'm so used to flying the highways now that I don't feel like even flying any longer to anywhere, any part of this country. So, when we made that cry to the Federal Ministry of Works, I think they've started work, from KABBA going to ILORIN. The work is going, but very, very slow. And even sometimes the quality of job that is being done, especially if you're applying between here and FCT, immediately you come off FCT side, then you notice the difference. Immediately after Abaji, you notice a lot of difference on the quality of job that is being done on this highway. I could remember that the current CAN president, on 2 occasions made a plea to the federal government to do something on these our highways. There has been a lot of casualties as a result of that. Tankers, trailers. We were told not to touch the road. Even at that, where is the money to even touch these federal highways when we have our own state roads to even take care of? But if it were to be, for instance, now concession to various states, we'll know what to do, how to bring in investors, to take care of them, and we told it. But it's not concessioned. Concessioning our land is still in progress, but still very slow as well. And then, if you dare intervene in federal roads now, nobody is going to refund you again. We have even intervened severally in the past, among which is even clearing off the shoulders, at least not less than 2 meters or 5 meters off the shoulders. That was one way we curbed the issue of kidnapping on the highway or armed robbery on the highway. All of these are interventions by states on federal roads that even nobody even will ever refund you. But what can we do? Sometimes we will go about patching the roads, some filling some parts. But that is where we found ourselves.
One of your best states said some time ago that the APC will reign for at least 3 decades as one of the key mobilizers of the party, involved even in the re-registration exercise of the party. Do you share what looks like extreme optimism of your friend?
It's realistic. 3 decades is even too short a time. If we open up the space for Nigerians to take charge, that is 1. 2, if we come up with sincere leadership at all levels, not just at the level of presidency or at governorship level only, no. If we open up the space to ensure that Nigerians, like Mr. President Buhari always said, President Buhari said, go and build the party from bottom up and ensure that those that will join the party are those that are credible. Let the people select their leaders and let the leaders be held accountable. If the people are allowed to select their leaders and no imposition, no politics of exclusion, and we do not turn APC to be elitist in nature, let the masses drive it. Let it be progressive. Let it be party of the masses, people's party. I see no reason why I will not even go beyond 3 decades. I made a statement that a lot of governors are going to join us. Nobody took it seriously, but we have seen the number of calibers of people that are joining us. And very soon we're going to see more that will decamp and join us. So that is a sign of progression, sign of success, a sign that yes, if we manage our party very well, if we allow the younger generation, if we allow those with credible ideas, workable ideas, if we allow women to participate, if we open the space for people living with special needs, then the party would have been welcoming all and sundry into our party. If we stop this godfatherism of a thing in the party, for crying out loud, you can be father to all, not pick and choose. Not father to a few. Don't make it as if this is what happened. I mean, a lot of things, that PDP practice. Let's not go there and say this is a norm. No. PDP ways can never be APC way. So we shouldn't be in power today and be under any illusion that we can't be booted out if we toe the path of PDP. In Kogi State today, it's more or less like one-party system we're practicing because we allowed all to come in. So we have rebuilt the party now. It's looking very beautiful. It's the bride of everyone. Membership base have increased tremendously. I don't think we are less than between 38 to 40 million members today in APC. It means we can win any election. Only if we don't disenfranchise members of the party And we don't practice elitist system. My brother, my friend, my relation, my colleague, those that, no. Allow the people to choose. And then if we are referred to as leaders of tomorrow, I say no, we are the leaders today. Like in Kogi State today, we are over 90%, in charge. That is the youths and women. If we allow this to happen across the country, young, vibrant, and very promising young men take charge at local level. Yes, this is what's happening across the globe. At local, at state, and at national level. Look, don't include young people. Let the young people take charge. Don't say you want to include young men. No. The young men should take charge, not include them. Rather, let them take charge. Young people will make their mistakes, and they will correct it. As elders who have contributed immensely, who have led this party, who have led this country, as the leader, the true leader of the youths today in government, I say thank you, our leaders, for coming together and put up this beautiful party, the APC. That can never be erased. Our fathers, our forefathers, the founding fathers and members of this party's name will be written in gold for coming up with this party. But don't say if it is not you to continue to run the party and be in positions, no any other one. If not, you would have used your right-hand side to create, use the left to destroy it. Then it's as good as not even creating it in the first place.
Last week that MPC will have challenges once President Buhari leaves. Do you agree?
In one way, I agree. In another way, we can manage it and will not have such challenge. Mr. President is known to have over 12 million votes constant. That is given. The fear is once President Buhari is no longer in the ballot, what happens to these 12 million votes? And I say there is a very simple answer to this. Mr. President wouldn't want to leave with his votes. He's the leader of the party, he's the founding father of this party, and he wouldn't want what he has built to collapse under his watchful eyes. In fact, that is why Mr. President magnanimously and graciously signed the Not Too Young to Run bill into law. Meaning he has the foresight that let the younger generations take charge. He should take over. Now look at the demography. The majority of voting population today are youths or younger generation, over 70%. Tell me if you position a young, vibrant, qualitative young men and women in positions to be elected, why would we be afraid that 12 million votes will be out? And APC today, we have such young, able-bodied, vibrant young men and women. Across board, everywhere. Simply position them. Allow the natural process to take place. And once it takes place and the younger generations take charge, we will even build more on the 12 million vote of Mr. President and then win every election. Like I said, where today membership is hovering between 38 to 40 million. Tell me if all the members alone should just vote for APC candidates that are credibly elected in the primaries that are very transparent. We win all the elections. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Babajide Kolade Otitoju in an exclusive interview with the governor of Kogi State there. And Babajide, I would say this is somebody that I think is gathering momentum. You know, some people will start very fast and some people, at the end of the day, they'll pick up midway. So I think...
You know, there are two governors who have challenged me, who have told me that, look, I'm working, I need you to see what I've done. The first is the governor of Benue State. I've not had time to go there. People say he does not do anything, and he says, okay, when you come around, you see what I've done. Governor GOV.BELLO, during this second term, is working. And that's why I asked the question. I said, if you were working like this during the first term, the whole nation will have taken notice. Were you distracted? He said, no, I'm not distracted. But one thing is as apparent as daylight. A lot of infrastructure, work around infrastructure is going on currently in that state now. I saw things for myself. I will not take a video from anybody. I will only report what I saw by myself. And I can report that he's doing a lot of work. Maybe because he wants to contest. Because when you want to contest, people will say, okay, show us what you have done. Maybe that's why. I don't know.
He's not hiding that fact.
No, it's not hiding, and he does not diminish himself. He thinks that it's good enough to do it. Actually, when you look around, you tell yourself that he has the right to contest. And if he can continue the momentum that I've seen at the Conference University of Science and Technology, the momentum that I've seen with the Ganaja flyover, which they promised, I spoke with the Chinese engineers, they said they will deliver it by December ending. The momentum that I saw even in Central, the gigantic hospital being built in Okene, and the inner city road that I saw in KABBA by myself, St. Barnabas Road, Feinti, Kano Road, and other places. Honestly, although he has not entered my village, and he must go there, because I believe that my coming back to Kogi State is conditional. If my own hometown, Ekinade, does not benefit from the roads that Governor GOV.BELLO is building all over the place, we will fight.
You want to protest?
We will fight. So we have things to do in my own state, my own local, my own town, and I need them to do to go there. Yes, we will fight. If it does not go to my, if this is not extended to my hometown, we will have to have a.
As go from what you were taking notes.
Yes. No, in fact, I was so impressed with, the way he said how he actually dealt with insecurity. He didn't mince words at all, saying that I will eliminate.
Yes.
Those are the kinds
That's
of
the language
words
they understand.
That is the language these guys understand. You can't just be using kid gloves for this.
No, they show that they don't deserve it.
No. Treat them the way that every other person will want to look at them and say, because if they catch you, the way they
don't show mercy.
They will no mercy.
They don't show mercy.
So eliminate them, deal with them.
Bandits,
imagine bandits attacking the convoy of Governor Ganduje.
Of a whole governor,
Imagine bandits killing an House of Assembly member in Katsina yesterday.
And
so how much longer can we tolerate these people?
And the idea of community policing, development.
No, it's using it well, because when you see it's using the armed forces well, it's motivating them, and it's doing quite well. And it tends to do some things that naturally, when you look at it, you say, okay, this is right. Look at in KOGI, for example, in Okene, is building a new palace for the Oinoye of Ibraland. He knows that the current Oinoye has a gigantic palace. Now, if a new Oinoye is coming, he needs something that will at least rise close to that level or match it. So now he's giving them a new place. Giving them a new place.
Asuko James, thank you for your contribution. Abikio, welcome you back.
Welcome back. It's good to be back.
Yeah.
I miss Lagos.
Yeah, I promise our viewers on Sunday. On Sunday, we're going to have just 2 hours of this dose. So we're going to unfold everything Jide has.
They will see that I worked so hard.
Everything that he has in his kitty, and that's our offering today. Join us again tomorrow for another episode of the program. And don't forget, this Sunday, Journalist Hangout, just 1:30 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. 2 hours. 2 hours of explosive package. And that's our offering today. My name is Ayodele Uzubako. See you tomorrow, and God bless Nigeria.